It's your chance to be educator, sort of beacon of hope and inspiration here, because I'm going to ask you the tricky one. You have to distill all of this journey up, all of the lessons. And what would you say are your biggest contributors to your success? And we're going to wrap it all up: life, sport, work. What are the components that someone listening can take and say, all right, I can draw from this and apply to my own journey? You've got 3 lessons to give.
I'll give you 3 then. I'll give you 3, and I've referred to them as we've gone through. Curiosity. That's been a big thing for me all the way through from early days as to how can I do things differently? Is there another way? Where can I learn? Is there something that I could pick from others? Right. Second one,
growth mindset.
Yeah, it is. It is it's the growth mindset.
Yeah.
Second one would be around consistency, be it in my professional life, be it in my sporting life. Just that consistency of application, not looking for quick fixes. Right? It's a huge frustration for me if I see it in sport. People say, "Oh, I've got this latest gadget and it's going to make things." I used to see exactly the same on the business side of life, where people would say, "Oh, I've read this book. This latest book will solve everything." And throw out last week's book. This is this week's book. So consistency of application. And then the last one I would say is spark, right? That always look for that catalyst. When you look at people, do you see that light in their eyes? That's the people you want to be spending time with.
Surround yourself. So what about someone that's really struggling? Because you have this, these conversations sometimes risk venturing into almost the Sami scenario that I talked about. Here's Panos, he's got it all sorted out. But someone that's just really struggling with all of these components right now, that is, and I wouldn't often ask a question that's in many ways quite challenging to answer, but I want you to imagine a listener that's struggling either in sport, broader life, not having great performances, whatever. What would you tell that person?
You're right. You have asked a challenge. You have asked a challenging question. I think everyone's different around this. I'll only put it from my own lessons, and I know we've had a sort of free-flowing conversation, and even over the time you've known me, there's been some massive ups and downs. Career-wise, I ended up in some pretty challenging situations. There's been some massive ups and downs on the sporting side. There's been a bunch of DNFs and all that. The biggest lesson I took out of all of those is something I just call releasing the mental weight. Because I think the mental weight that we choose to put on ourselves, and it is choice, is the thing that ended up sort of weighing me down and holding me back. If you look at it and say, right, I'm gonna get back to that curiosity, I'm going to get back to that commitment, I'm going to get back to that spark, because the mental weight blocks all of those. I'm going to keep looking to clear that out of the way so I can get back to those 3.
It's funny you say, I've never heard you talk about that before, but back with the Purple Patch Pros, one of our defining, we had all sorts of cute sayings, as you well know, but one of them was freedom to fail. And it was really a drive to enable the group of pros, on the razor's edge of world-class performance. We wanted to drive process, we wanted to drive behaviors. And so if you do everything that's under your control, it's a parallel concept that I'm talking about here, then you have freedom to fail. It's okay if things go wrong. And it enabled them to navigate the DNFs, the broken femurs in some scenarios, etc. It was the journey that they went on. It's really we just released the mental weight. And what they knew is that if they had a bad race, they weren't going to get a coach from me going, well, you messed that up, didn't you? But it's like, okay, let's work out why, let's move on. It's a liberation of stuff, and I think that's really good.